goal with the equalising goal tonight, the opening goal for Villa. They got 2, Liverpool got 2 as well. Didn't want to give us a prediction for how many more he would get this season, but you've both said he's done fantastically well so far.
I think it's a dream for a manager because I think he understands however your manager wants to play. I think he understands it. He really does, and I think he helps on the pitch. When you send him on the pitch, he has the brains to be able to implement it and help his teammates around it. And he, for me, is the reference in this side. You know, whether he's playing as an 8, whether he's playing as a 6, he knows his role and he knows everyone else around him's role as well. So he's an absolute manager's dream, really is.
Do you know the big thing with him? I mean, obviously he was talented at Leicester, you know, the winner in the Cup fight. He's done some brilliant things and he's always been technically good. But Unai Emery's got him super fit. He lasts the games, he plays every few, very rarely leaves him out, and he can get up and down now, and he's good without the ball. That was used at Leicester. I think there was question marks about his defensive work. You don't see that now. Brilliant performance. He was really good. He was their best player for me.
So he got the goal that made it 1-1. Let's take you back to the beginning. The opening goal of the game came from Mo Salah, and it came on the half-hour mark. Let's look at it. Let's look at the mistake in the build-up to it and how they capitalised, Tim.
Yeah, they just set a trap and they're pressured well, very aggressive in their press, but it was poor play from Villa, and Jota just gives him an easy goal, really, just puts it on the plate, just waiting for that chance, and the timing of the pass is great, gives him no control problems. He goes so high with this. I think he takes a little bobble, look, just there, you know, he has to lift it up and high into the net. You don't expect him to miss chances like that, and they give him a great start, but you have to give credit to Villa. Never got their heads down, just kept going forward.
So 24 goals this season so far, most goals for Liverpool in a Premier League season. He is chasing his own record, is Mo Salah, of 32. He continues to break records. Tonight's goal was number 15 away in the Premier League. That is the most in a season for Liverpool, breaking Luis Suarez's record. It's unbelievable. Every week he's breaking records. We're running out of superlatives, out of ways to describe him.
Yeah, I think he's going to be really important from now to the end of the season, but he looks really sharp. I mean, Tim and I were watching him during the game. Some of his hold-up play, his strength, his willingness to keep running in behind. The fact that Villa had to sub the left-back tells you everything. He'd exhausted him. Yeah. They took Deeney off, and Salah's going to be huge the next 2 months for Liverpool. Huge.
Yeah, and obviously we know all about his physique. Yeah. We know all about how he keeps himself fit.
No carbs, isn't it?
No carbs?
Apparently he stopped the carbs.
Yeah, well, he don't look like it. When he takes his shirt off, he don't look like he's had many to me.
He reminded me.
Tyrone Mings looked all right and all there.
Reminded me of you in the dressing room earlier.
These guys these days, I mean, I don't know why they put shirts on. I mean, they look so good. Mo Salah's no exception.
Yellow card for you anyway. Mo Salah, obviously the physique and the fitness, as you mentioned. We just saw it in the Liverpool side that requires such hard running as well.
I just think he's just such a threat all of the time. He can have such a quiet game, and then all of a sudden he's not perturbed by that. You know, he doesn't need to touch the ball all of the time, but he's always stretching the defence. He moves, he knows when to stand still, he's very clever, and when he gets that opportunity around the penalty area on that right-hand side, he just cuts in, and his vision and his guile with that wand of a left foot he has. It's just we want to see him. I want to see him next year in the Premier League. I want to see him sign a new contract for Liverpool Football Club. I really do, because we're blessed to be seeing players of his quality in this great division.
Peerless at the moment is Mo Salah, and so important to Liverpool. Let's get reaction to this draw for Liverpool, and no man better to tell us about the 90 than their manager. Here's Arne Slot.
Well, on that, it was a great game. It ebbed and flowed. What was your take on it?
The same. It was a great game. Going in at halftime being 2-1 down, it didn't feel as if the game went for us like that. I was disappointed with going in. Of course, we conceded just before halftime, but felt we were playing really well. And then we came back second half, scoring 2-2. Got some good chances to make it 3-2. And in the end, the ball could have gone in when then we would have lost it. So great game to watch. Two teams played really well. Yeah, but I'm not happy with the results if I look at all the chances we had today.
Yeah, you just touched on it. Did you not match your usual very high standards at both ends of the pitch today, both defensively and attacking-wise?
Yes, I did feel that we defended really well, because I can't come up with a lot of their chances. So the only thing I'm not happy with is if you play a big game an away game at Villa, that's a difficult one, and you need to have a neutral set-piece balance or a positive one. But we conceded one, didn't score one, and then it's hard. But still, we were able to get a result, and because we scored 2 very good goals, and yeah, I think we've created more than enough chances to score the winner. But final minute, it could have gone their way as well.
I know that there was talk about maybe there being a bit of nerves in the Wolves game that you won at the weekend. It didn't feel like there was any nerves or anxiety today. It was just an end-to-end game.
Yeah, but there wasn't nerves at Wolves as well. We've played Wolves away. We beat them 2-1 in the final 10 minutes. Were tough for us as well. So if you defend the lead, it's tough. But all of a sudden now people talk about nerves. But for me it isn't. These players are used to this. They're used to playing for trophies, for winning a league or winning a Champions League or winning an FA Cup. So it would be quite fast already to have some nerves. There's only 12 games to go. Today we played really well, but that also has to do with the style of play of the other team, because that's totally different than the style of play of Everton and Wolves or Plymouth.
And if you look at the table, it's still pretty good reading. 8 points clear. That's not bad, is it?
No, of course. Although Arsenal has a game in hand, but yeah, every team has to play every team twice. And now this week for us is Villa away and City away. Yeah, you know that stuff. But again, we didn't lose. Again, an away game in a tough fixture. Where, in my opinion, if I look at all the chances we had compared to them, we deserve more, and that's the only thing we can blame ourselves, that a few times too much now we didn't got what we deserved, and we must not make a habit out of that.
So at that point, it's 2-1 to Aston Villa at half-time. We said in the break there would be goals. The score wouldn't stay like that. And pretty shortly after the hour, the goal came, the equaliser from Trent Alexander-Arnold. It did take a deflection of Tyrone Mings. But let's have a look at it now, because this is how they equalised. Once again, Liverpool seemed to slice them open with such ease, Danny.
Yeah, well, at this point, it was Villa going after them, leaving gaps, and that's really great for Liverpool. Trent getting himself forward. The ball to Salah. When you see the slow-mo here, when Tielemans is doing a good job trying to track Trent, he goes to help Digne because he knows Salah's got him. That leaves Trent free, gets a moment. You know what a good striker the ball is. Gets a bit lucky. I don't know if it's going in or not. Can't really tell from that angle. Comes off Mings, sorry, yeah. And then they're back in the game. And then all of a sudden, Villa were on the rocks. Liverpool really going after them then.
I don't think Arne Slot has made many wrong calls, but for me, I thought it was a wrong call bringing off Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think if I'm Unai Emery, I'm thinking thank you for that, because the boy's a threat. Every time he gets the ball, it wasn't his most fantastic game, but he delivers crosses. He's got an eye for a pass. His range of passing is second to none. And him and Mo Salah, telepathic the way they link up, and you saw that with the goal. Any deflection pass when you shoot a goal, if it goes on target, the goalkeeper never ever save it. The only chance is deflection wide. So
I thought he played well, Trent, tonight. I don't think he brought him off because he was playing badly. He's only just got back fit.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago. Maybe there's a bit of that, or maybe he just wanted to shore up. We don't know. But I do agree on his level of performance and the quality he's got, and he showed in the game. I was a bit surprised.
Yeah, Connor comes on and gets injured, so now Trent has to play.
Yeah.
You know, so it's one of those. You're better off getting the game out of the way if you feel like you're more likely to take maximum.
Danny Higginbotham and Robbie Mustoe after quite the thriller, I have to say, at Villa Park. Boys, just want to get some reaction first. Obviously, drop points for Liverpool. How disappointing? How much of an impact will this have on the title race, do you think?
I think Villa's always going to be a tough place to go. You know, Arsenal obviously went there and got the win, but that's the only defeat that Villa have had at home this season. So I think when you look at things with a bigger picture, I don't think it's that bad a result. I said before this game, I was thinking before this game that it would be a case of, can they potentially get 7 from the 9? So obviously they play Manchester City, then they play Newcastle. That's still very, very doable. So I think although there'll be a little bit of frustration in the Liverpool dressing room, I think they'll take a look back at this when they've had time to refresh. I think it's a good point for Liverpool.
You agreed?
Yeah, you know, the more I think about it, we often see Liverpool under Arne Slot very controlled and very dominant and very safe. They give up a lot of chances today, and they missed some chances to score themselves. I know they didn't play with a wide forward that they normally do on a slot. I don't know whether that worked particularly well. Villa gave them opportunities with a high line. It is. Danny's right. It is a good point to go to Villa Park and get a point. But I just think the way that the game went and the chances that they had, Darwin Nunez had a sitter from 8 yards out, he blasted over the top. I think they will be quite disappointed they didn't win the game. It was just a little wild. Both teams made changes to the lineups. And Villa are a good side, but then they kept going for the win as well. Both teams attacking, both teams trying to win the game. It's a fair result. I just feel Liverpool, I don't know, I think they'll be a little bit disappointed with their general performance.
They now sit 8 points clear at the top. If Arsenal win against West Ham at home this weekend, that will cut to just 5. Is the race getting a little tastier, perhaps?
Obviously it is, because the deficit can be cut, but I still think that it's there for Liverpool. Arsenal have got to go to Liverpool, and we're talking about, you know, if Liverpool drop more points, Arsenal have got to continue to win. We know the problems that they've got going forward, and the one thing I would say about Liverpool, they missed a number of chances today, but I think they still look really fresh.
Well, they've got to be fresh. They've got Sunday, they've got Man City away, Hannah. And then Newcastle in the week after that. This is always going to be a very big week for Liverpool. It's a start, 2-2. I don't know. It makes the title race more exciting. Arsenal have got to be a bit more excited about their chance of winning the title now.
Yeah, could well be game on. All right, well, for more reaction, let's get out there to Villa Park, where we find the boys, Peter Drury and Lee Dixon. We'd love to get your reaction from tonight's game.
Yeah, Anna, it's so interesting to hear your conversation and to wonder about the psychology of all of this, Lee, isn't it? It's curious that we talk about points dropped.
Yeah.
Liverpool have just taken a point. Yeah. And I wonder whether you could talk, A, about Liverpool's perception of that, and B, about Arsenal's. How do you think that would have been received at Arsenal?
Well, obviously they've dropped points. They'll look at it as a drop points. They'll look at it as saying, if we, you know, we win our game in hand, it goes down to 5 points. So you just want to get it within. Now it's 2 games, because they can beat Liverpool at Anfield and Liverpool lose another game, then they're in with a shout. They just presume that Arsenal are going to win all their games. Let's just take that for a given. They won't, and they're struggling up front, as the boys have said, but we've just got to put that to one side. You'll only know whether this is a good point or points dropped at the end of the season when Liverpool go like that or they don't. That's what these games are all about. You can look back over the season and go, do you know what, we should have won there, or we should have done this, we should have done that. It will only become evident when the total is added up at the end. So the way the game went, I agree with Robbie, the way the game went, the amount of chances that Liverpool had, you go, you know, we should have won that. They'd be a bit disappointed. But at the other end, it could have gone the other way. So they could have lost the game quite easily tonight. So it was a funny game. It was like open, which I don't think suited Liverpool, normally dominant and take control of games like that, but Villa are a good side.
And I would just say on that I remember a conversation between us on air 3 or 4 weeks back when you were making the point that at the moment everything feels like hard work for Arsenal. They're just winning games, and Liverpool are cruising. Yeah. Well, Liverpool aren't cruising at the moment.
No, we saw the game last week, with the Everton game. That was a struggle. Second half against Wolves, we were there. That was a struggle. Tonight was open-ended. It could have gone either way, that game. So I think, you know, we're seeing signs. Schlott got sent off. We're seeing a bit of indiscipline. Changed the team tonight, which he normally doesn't, and the formation, as Robbie said. So there's a few little things that give all us lot, you know, room to go, do you know what, there's a chance. And there is a chance. There definitely is a chance. But it's still Liverpool's to lose.
And, of course, what it does do is give greater weight, Anna, if greater weight were needed, to that massive game at Manchester City on Sunday. City-Liverpool is not to be missed.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Lowe, and as we head towards the end of an exciting Premier League season, make sure you like and subscribe on the NBC Sports YouTube channel for more content like this.
Now, close to the 3 points, pushed at the end, but how do you feel about settling for a point?
Good evening. The draw, I think, is fair for both teams because they had as well chances to score. But we know against Liverpool, always you have to try to get your moment to attack and to get chances like we had. And always try to be as well competing until the last moment. And we did it. We started losing, but we were more or less competing well, and we came back the result the first half, and we were excited, motivated for the second half, and we were the second half more or less as well, keeping the same structure and idea. Of course, when you are winning like that against Liverpool, they can score like they did. And then the last minute we were close to score. I think it's further result because they played more or less controlling of the game in 70 minutes and winning, losing, and with the draw. But the last 20 minutes we were getting more option to win.
The first goal that you conceded, that's 12 goals from an error from a Villa perspective this season. Is that something that you can't really control and it's just the players just have to switch on and step up for that type of thing?
We are analyzing everything and trying to get our best in our tactical idea. Of course, some action like that, so we are building up, we are taking some risk. We are avoiding a lot of times the risk when we could lose the ball. But today they scored, but we are not changing our idea and trying as well to work, improving.
Is this more the performance levels that you've been looking for?
I am always trying to get better.
Always trying to get better. Well, they are winless now in 5 Premier League games and just 2 wins in their last 9 for Aston Villa. He also talked about the mistakes, not like the errors, and there were plenty.
Far too many. Yeah, far too many from playing out from the back when the goalkeeper's set. Probably goal kicks, you know, it's just a slow build-up. And there's an aggressive press from Liverpool. Just waiting for that mistake. I think it's good anticipation there from Trent. He just jumps from his position. And they should do better with a header.
The thing is about varying your game. So if Liverpool come and press nearly man for man, so in this, if you had a wider angle, you'd see how many Liverpool players have got in the Villa are. But when you've got someone like Ollie Watkins, who's as quick as he is and as willing, every now and again you've got to switch it up. You've lost the ball a couple of times. It's up to the goalkeeper to be, you know, these chances are coming from their mistakes. It's up to the goalkeeper to use experience and go, you know what, I'm going to fire a few long. Ederson does it probably the best for Man City when he does the long one. I mean, he's a better striker of the ball, but use the pace you've got, because it's not as if they haven't got that option. Yeah. And I just think so many times we watch Premier League football now and you see teams reluctant to mix the game up more. Yeah. And the players have to take some responsibility for that. Yeah. Can't always be the coach. He can set a philosophy, but use your football IQ. He's an experienced World Cup winner.
It becomes predictable in the end, you know, if you continue doing it. Sometimes you've got to break it up, change it, you know, jab them off you a little bit, you know, and play over the top. We see Liverpool.
Do you think players are more worried now about them being told off to make their own decision?
Yeah. I think so. I think that's what happens now. You know, I'm not sure he's a stubborn manager. There's some managers who would say, no, you have to do that at all costs. I think he will give them a little bit of leeway. I really believe that. When they had John Duran, they used to go a little bit from back to front because they feel stronger. Like because he was a big guy, you know, he could hold the ball up, physicality, the midfield can get up and support. Liverpool do that. They go long, but they go long to Mo Salah. If the ball's into him with the trajectory of the ball, you know, it doesn't have to be a floated ball so someone can come over the top. Mo Salah, with his body strength, he's just strong, you know. It's that diagonal from Virgil van Dijk into him. He holds it up. He takes them up the field. They're out. The midfield, Szoboszlai's on his bike. Jones is in there. They can start playing in the opposition's half. And then the next time, when they all drop off because they're worried about the diag, then they can go and play and there's more room to play. It makes sense. It's just footballing IQ.
It's a night of kind of mixed bag for Aston Villa, mixed emotions, because while they're disappointed, they did take a point off the best team in the country right now. But then there were mistakes from them, which we've shown. Not all of them were punished. Then there were also opportunities at the end to win it for Aston Villa.
Oh, look, I think Villa in the last month or two will be disappointed because the quality they've got, and at times this season have shown performances of such a high level that they'll feel they should be higher in the division. I know they've tried to mix this campaign with the Champions League for the first time, which is difficult.
Great pass.
Yeah, great ball. Some of these moves late in the game, I mean, yeah, it's end to end. It's both teams trying to win it, but this is the quality they've got. And actually, the ability to bring the subs on, he did. Yeah. You know, he brought on Ramsey, Marlon. Yeah. He moved Rodgers into a central area, and it gave him a new energy. And he hasn't quite had that option recently. I think they had a good January. This should help them in the second part of the season. I think this is the last chance they had, Tim, wasn't it? Late in the game, Marlon. He did all right when he come on.
Really like this boy. He come in with a great attitude. You know, he thinks he's coming there. He was just going to come and start some games. But he's come and been a part of the squad. He's had to come on late on the game. He comes in with a correct attitude. And this is inches away from Nunez in the bottom corner. He got all excited. Did Unai Emery, and so did you used to see Arne Slot's face.
So did every Arsenal fan watching as well.
Yeah, Daniel Marlon very, very close to winning it at the end there, echoing his manager's reaction. Very
Rashford
close
did well as well.
Yeah,
he looked fit, fresh, at it, better appetite, better desire, caused Liverpool problem.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at Marcus Rashford and his involvement tonight. As you mentioned, you thought he did well.
I thought he showed, like, this type of thing is, with the ball, never worry about him, but he's lost the ball with a bad touch. He's back in position really quickly. There he is, bum, win it back. They're the little details that we're missing. The explosive stuff with the ball, we've seen, he's capable, he's happy when he's got the ball, but I think, as we talked about earlier, I mean, that's unlucky, but look at this for a tackle, bam. That's against Canati.
Do you think, Danny, it's because he knows his job out of position now? And before he never, or do you just think it's a willingness to want to run around?
I think it's that, and I think it's also...
That was great.
That's brilliant. It's just a tad unlucky. He's well played offside there, but again, willingness to run in behind it. But I think it's that, and I also think it's something you touched on earlier. A manager who's completely straight and clear in his demands, and he knows if he doesn't do it, he won't start.
Yeah,
and he knows that the fans will soon turn again. He's got a fresh start, but the manager is completely, well, he's strict. He's set on what he wants, and he gives him a very clear indication of that, and you can see it. He doesn't seem confused in anything he's doing, does he?
No, it's quite clear. I think he's making it simple for him. Wants him to play there. If he wants to float at times, someone has to balance off on the left-hand side and go and express yourself. Do what you're good at, but you can't just conserve your energy for when you've got the ball. You're not that good. Our team are not that good. We have to play out of possession as well. And what I want you to do is when you lose it, react straight away and get back. Because the first 10 yards you run quick, it saves the rest of the team a lot of legwork. Because if you run slow your first 10 yards, you end up running 50 yards very slowly. And perhaps the ball ends up in the back of your net. So reaction. Boom. That's what he's been doing the last couple of games.
Biggest change.
I know it's still very early, though. He's only played a half against Ipswich, a half here tonight as well. But this Rashford renaissance that we're all talking about, we're all looking for, we want to know if it's going to happen. Are the signs there?
The signs are there, yeah. The signs are definitely there, but it's been far from, what we'd expect and what we've seen in the past from Marcus Rashford. But what we need to start seeing from Marcus Rashford is consistency. Performance and consistency. What we'd like to see, first and foremost, is a nice smile on his face. And I think he looks
happier.
He looks happier in himself, playing for Aston Villa at the moment.
It's amazing how quickly the good things start happening to you again when you do the bad things well. So, if you run about and you help your team and you get back in shape that Tim's talking about, you get the better luck and the good things happen for you. That one where he's offside on the give and go, that goes for you next week. He keeps getting himself in good areas and his body language is good and his energy is good and his attitude. He'll get the look.
We're going to go back to Villa Park now and get some more reaction to the thrilling 2-2 draw between Aston Villa and Liverpool. Standing by for us now is Ollie Watkins.
Ollie, you had chances at the end of that game. How are you feeling?
Yeah, it was a tough game, they're at the top of the league for a reason, so we knew it was always going to be tough with them coming here. But, we've got a strong record here at home and we always make it hard for teams, so even though we found ourselves a goal behind, we reacted well and, and went ahead. So, I think we played well. We deserve minimum a point and like you said, we had chances. We could have nicked it at the end there.
Do you feel you raised the levels tonight, the performance levels that you've been perhaps looking for, that Unai Emery's been calling for?
Yeah, I think so. He's been really demanding of us. We haven't been performing as well of late. So, he's always on to us and, like I said, very demanding. So I think he'll be happy with that performance tonight.
How did you find it up at the top there? You've got some new friends around you.
Yeah, it's good. So many talented players, in the squad, and even lads coming off the bench. It's nice playing with quality players. I didn't get too many opportunities, but I'm sure in the future games that I'll get some and they'll definitely find me.
Is that all about building the relationships now with like Marcus Rashford or whoever starts on the left and the right?
Yeah, and obviously they haven't had that long to show what they can do. We've only had a couple of games, so they're still finding their feet, new surroundings. But when they get a few runs, a run of the game under their belt, then I think it will flow and it will connect together nicely.
Look, it's a point against the league leaders in a really busy period of time. How are you all coping with it, and what will this give you moving forward for this next period?
Look, I think any team that we play, we want to win the game no matter where they are in the league. So we just focus on ourselves. Keep trying to win here at Villa Park, improve our away form, and then see where we are come the end of the season.
So no wins in the last 5 in the Premier League for Aston Villa. How much of that is down to them trying to manage in Europe as well, do you think?
Yeah, we can always use that as an excuse. I'm not too sure. I think they've got. I think they had a very good window. I think, and then some of these guys are still trying to settle into the way Unai Emery wants to play. So I can only see a positives going forward for the remainder of the season. Yes, the Champions League's going to start again. They've done brilliant to qualify. No, I see. There's two games. Yeah, there were one game against Liverpool and one game against Arsenal amongst theirs. A few draws, what they could have gone their way. I think it'd be a massive result for them if they beat Chelsea at the weekend, because two teams who are fighting for the fourth place or fourth or fifth, because it looks like it might be fifth place for the Champions League qualification in the Premier League now.
Yeah, as you mentioned, great recruitment as well.
Yeah.
Rashford and Asensio both starting tonight. Given what that front line looks like now of Villa, do you think it's only a matter of time before they get back to winning ways?
Yeah, I think they've got many more options now. There looks to be a bit more creativity and energy back in the team. I think the problem he had during the up until the window was that he did play the same team a lot.
Yeah.
And he did have a decent squad anyway in terms of numbers. He might not have felt that in terms of quality. Yeah. But, Duran didn't play as much as he should. You got Maatsen, you got lots of players who didn't get many minutes. And I felt that more recently, before the new recruits came in, there looked to be a bit of fatigue from all the games. Because if you've never played a European campaign before, I know some of them have, but at Champions League level, it's different Europa League level, Conference League, because the opposition you play some weeks is at a level where you can cruise. The Champions League, every game's a monster game. You saw the energy levels against Munich, against Leipzig, whoever else they played. And if you're not used to it, you do have a dip. Their results in the Premier League after Champions League games is poor.
Yeah.
And that's normal in your first season.
And they've had crippling injuries to defensive players as well. But we don't make a big thing about it, because that man, as a manager, he just never ever talks about it. A lot of other managers want to keep harping on about the injuries. Everyone feels sorry for us because he doesn't, because he thinks, and I believe him, it sends out a wrong message to the ones you're actually bringing into your team. So for me, he does it in a correct way. But we don't mention it. But we're going to mention it tonight, Unai. Not you. We're going to mention it.
He's been a breath of fresh air.
Centre-backs they've had crippling injuries to their first choice centre-backs. Diogo Carlos, they sold as well. So, they didn't need that. They've strengthened in the offensive areas. They're missing players. Once they get them back to fitness, I'm sure they'll be in and around fourth or fifth in the Premier League by the end of the season.
So he scored that goal, the equaliser that could have been a winner. Another decision from Slot to bring on Darwin Nunez, and this was so frustrating to watch, wasn't it, Dan?
Well, there was a few frustrating moments tonight in terms of finishing. Very unlike Jota. This was a great move, great ball from Bradley. I think Szoboszlai should finish that, but he squares it for Darwin Nunez, and I think that's his first touch after coming off the bench. Now, he's just got to control himself and slow himself. He tries to absolutely muller the side foot and really hit it hard and firm instead of just rolling it calmly, or even could have dummied him and cut inside. It's a big moment for him because he's going to face criticism now.
Yeah.
And then this one, Tim, as well. You think he should be braver there, don't you?
I do, yeah. I'm not sure he was fully committed to that. He didn't have a good night, that's for sure. It's difficult. Look, coming off the bench is very, very difficult. Misplaced passes, but the first chance, I don't care if it's his first touch or his 100th touch, you have to score. Yeah. All you got to do is let it hit you on the left foot and it rolls into the bottom corner.
If you were Szoboszlai, would you have gone yourself?
In hindsight, yeah, but hindsight's never been divorced.
Do you know what? do you know why I think he should have? Because he had loads of time. So the distance between him and the goalkeeper was easy. You could side foot it either way. But Szoboszlai's not full of confidence in front of goal. He hasn't scored enough. He's a terrific player, but it's a great run. This is what we were talking about before the game, Tim, that willingness to run in behind. See, now he's got time. Either way, he just slots it in. He doesn't have to square the ball to Darwin. It's a strange decision from Szoboszlai.
We'll give Disasi a little bit of credit. Never give it up, full stretch, diving in at the end.
It's the first bit of credit you've given him.
Yeah, perhaps I thought there's only bit he deserved.
To be fair, if Nunez had scored it, we'd have said, Szoboszlai unselfish.
You would?
No, good, yeah. But after the event, he could have slid it down the side. Martinez is very difficult to beat. He's one of the best goalkeepers in the world.
Do you know what I mean by the distance, though?
Yeah.
He's got enough distance to just slot it.
Yeah.
And he overthinks, and then as he gets closer, he squares it.
Yeah.
I think goal-scoring midfielders, the best ones we've seen, would never be side-foot, would never be squaring that from... Because he actually squares it to outside of the posts.
Yeah.
He's not squaring it for a tap-in centre of the goal. Yeah. He's centre of the goal, he's squaring it, and the ball ends up outside of the posts.
Yeah. If that's Mo Salah, we know that where that ends up. We know that they're all going back to the centre circle to kick off. First half, we saw Jota with a bun in the perfect position on the left-hand side, whips it round. We think he's going to score there. He's obviously going to score, you know, because that's him. This is Trent reading that one very, very well. And that's a decent enough header
for him.
I mean, that he has to score. I think he has to hit the target. Not necessarily score. This is a difficult
That's
chance.
half a chance,
Yeah, Jota had a few chances tonight.
This is the one. This is it. This is it. This is where he normally scores. He normally scores these like you think Mo Salah would have tapped that one in.
He actually set himself lovely for that one because he gave himself the ability to go either way.
Yeah.
He's just completely mishit it or hit a bobble. This is a great effort. Snapshot, little bit of bend. Great move this was as well. That's just unlucky.
Yeah, that was very
And so many times Jota's scored crucial goals for him. He gets in great areas, doesn't he?
Gets in front, gets at it first. He's very good in the air. But with Darwin Nunez, I mean, he's almost a cult hero there from coming off the bench. They like because he scores some big goals at the right time, but he needs to be scoring them sort of goals. He needs to. And never ever does he get a chance where I think, well, that's an easy chance for him. I think everything. I think the fans must be looking through their fingers when he has a chance because they're never sure if he's going to score. It's not like Mo Salah. I know he's different, Mo Salah. He's an extraordinary player. Jota with that one, I've always fancied him to score, but whenever